Hello, my name is Trevor Cooper, and I'm here to give a short synopsis on the case study entitled Following Lance Armstrong, Excellence Corrupted. So at the very beginning of this case study, it's all about Lance Armstrong, as everybody knows, got in trouble for blood doping. But what drove him into blood doping? Well, we'll start out with some background knowledge of Lance Armstrong. He was born in 1971 in Plano, Texas, by a teenage mother. So he came from very humble beginnings, and he first started biking at the age of 7 and realized he was really good at it, and he liked the physical challenge of that biking brought to him. He entered his first triathlon at the age of 13, and he won big time, blew out the competition. And this is when he first decided that, man, maybe I should do this for real. So at age 15, he was bringing in about $20,000 a year off of his winnings. But in doing so, he mostly had to lie about his age to get into higher competition to gain this prize money. So this guy was good. He went on to have one of the best cycling careers, being the most decorated athletes of all time. He won 7 Tour de France's in a row, which is just unbelievable, and we later will find out why. And but with every great story, adversity has to hit, and at age 25, Lance Armstrong was diagnosed with testicular cancer that spread to his lungs and his brain. So he had to undergo 4 months of extreme chemotherapy. Lance as a patient was more than average. His VO2 levels were 90% higher than the average man, which is the body's ability to take in oxygen. But him being a patient, he just wasn't trying to survive. He was trying to come back to being a professional cyclist, and not just be a professional cyclist, but be a champion yet again. So, but with every great comeback story, there's got to be doubters, and his cycling team made him renegotiate his contract because of his health, and it makes sense why they would do that, but that just kind of lit the fire a little bit more, and he would never really return to that cycling team. And his sponsors, such as Nike, stood by him, but I believe that was for the wrong reasons, such as bad publicity for leaving a guy that just had cancer, because he was one of the most decorated cyclists, and he really believed he was going to come back. But when he came back, he couldn't get a team to sign him because of his health and the dangers of cancer coming back. So he couldn't get him to sign him to a contract. But his determination proved that he would do anything to return to cycling and return to being a champion. So why would one use doping? Well, for one, the events that they participate in as being a cyclist, such as the Tour de France, are the most excruciating of challenges. And the Tour de France is one of the most prestigious of all endurance events, not just in cycling. It is a 23-day long in July event. It covers 3,500 kilometers of France and goes through different types of terrain, such as flat, hilly, and mountain. And in mountain terrain, the air is thin, and you're using the most energy to get up the mountain. So a lot of riders don't even finish the race. That's just a little. And this is not like most endurance competitions, because at each day, you're not supposed to pace, because each day you will receive 8,000 euros if you finish first. So every day is competitive because they're trying to win that money. So what exactly brought doping into cycling? Well, in 1969, everybody was using it, because if you weren't really competing. And if you weren't competing, if you weren't winning, you weren't making any money, so you were just wasting your time. So situations called for you also to use doping. When it became illegal in 1998, Team Vestine was caught using doping materials and was kicked out of the competition and has a reputation forever tainted, such as the riders who use it. Well, doping just became a snowball effect because once one person started using it, everybody else had to start using it because it gave such a competitive advantage. If you weren't winning. So just to prove how that is so, from 1995 to 2005 in the Tour de France, 20 of 21 champions were blood doping. That's not a coincidence. That's athletes doing whatever it takes to win, and such as Lance did. But to describe Lance's personality in the Dark Triad, I chose to describe him as a narcissist because, well, he is he's pretty selfish, because by doping you're cheating, which gives the people who aren't cheating a disadvantage. And I understand his reasons behind it, but just because everyone does it doesn't make it right. And athletes are pretty self-absorbed. They will do anything to win just because, yeah, they get more money and they get the fame, but they want it. They crave admiration from everybody. Athletes want to be known. They want to win. They just want to be known as the best. The best. So I believe this case study did pertain to the class, and it was relevant because it proved that not just athletes but people will do anything it takes to win. And the Dark Triad, personality wise, it refrained to that and made complete sense on why people will do that to win. But I believe this class has showed me that personality and behavior in the workplace is very important, and bad personality traits can be used for good if they're controlled, such as narcissists, because yeah, if you're really competitive, you're gonna want to win. So it would just make sense to control it and not pertain to cheating. But it's a dog-eat-dog world, and that's what this class taught me. Thank you.